Hey YouTube, Wes here checking in with another episode of the Vinyl Survivor. This is where I sort of give my thoughts and reviews on albums I picked up in the past after giving them a listen. This is where I talk about new albums to me and let you know what I thought of them, let you know whether they're staying in my permanent collection or going away, and give you a bit of my thoughts on each one. So let's just go ahead and get into this episode. First album I have to talk about today is a solo album by Stephen Stills. This is titled Stephen Stills 2. I believe 69 is the date on this one. No, 71, sorry. 71 is the date on this one. Killer solo album here. He really shows what he's capable of, I think. There's some R&B songs, there's some country rock kind of songs, there's some straight up blues songs. Really varied as far as the styles. Just excellent. You know, Stephen Stills is an excellent songwriter. Check out that beautiful gatefold. Love the imagery there. I got some lyrics here in the inside. Just a killer track listing from start to finish, and not really any big major hits on this one. So it's just a really great album to listen to, and it's really enjoyable through and through. Flows really nicely. David Crosby is on here as well. He's got some other great players on here. Eric Clapton plays on here. Nils Lofgren plays on here. Just some great artists on here as well, and just an awesome album. Custom inner sleeve, just black on that side, and then a silhouette and an airplane window there on that side. Just kind of neat. Yeah, I like the imagery on this album. And of course, this is on the Atlantic label, being Stephen Stills. So yeah, Stephen Stills 2, awesome in my opinion. Gets a thumbs up from me. Pick it up if you see it. If you're at all interested in Stephen Stills or CSNY or anything like that, you'll dig this quite a bit. I think it's definitely going to be staying in the collection. Next thing I have to talk about today, I guess, is what you would call swamp rock. This is Dr. John with The Sun, Moon, and Herbs. Yeah, just swamp rock is the best way to describe this. It's very swampy, very sort of Louisiana bayou kind of rock kind of sound. Really cool stuff. Lots of Cajun. I don't know, Cajun is the right word. Sort of swampy, kind of mysterious kind of influences. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, I really dug this quite a bit as well. Really good songs. Really floats along really nicely, and definitely enjoyed this one. Very colorful album artwork. Really do like the imagery on this one as well. Little bit of a rough copy. This was a Goodwill find, but I definitely knew I wanted to hear it, and I'm glad to have picked it up. Inner sleeve here with some more imagery, and yeah, those are lyrics and liner notes in there. One's on the wonderful Atco label. Definitely a favorite label of mine. Yeah, so Dr. John, The Sun, the Moon, and Herbs. I don't know if I said this. 1969 is the release date on this one, and yeah, definitely gets a thumbs up from me, and definitely something will stay in the collection for me. And if I happen to stumble across a better copy, I'll probably upgrade it. Because I really dug this quite a bit. Really nice, swampy. Definitely something for the late summertime kind of thing, when it's really just muggy and not much wind going on. Just really swampy feeling. This works really well. All right, moving on to something completely different. This is the second studio album by the Miami-based hip-hop group 2 Live Crew, titled Move Something. Here's the Luke Skywalker Records label. I read his autobiography last year, so that was enjoyable. I learned a lot about how he started his business and sort of the growth of the group and everything. So that was really cool. Yeah, just an early album from them before they sort of blew up on the national scene because of the explicit lyrics controversy. So this was pretty early from them. You got Do Wah Diddy is on here. Move Something, of course. Drop the Bomb. 1 and 1. Yeah, some fun tracks on here. Sort of like the Frank Zappa of hip hop, I guess you could say, almost. Kind of fun sort of comedic kind of hip hop songs that are raunchy and interesting, and I like collecting it, and it's something I grew up listening to. So we always enjoyed it as kids to listen to this stuff. I don't know. It is what it is. It's kind of misogynistic. It isn't kind of misogynistic. It is misogynistic, but yeah, I don't have to explain it. But yeah, so that's the 2 Live Crew Move Something. And that one gets a thumbs up for me. It's staying in the collection. I think that pretty much completes my 2 Live Crew collection. So that's really nice. All right, next thing I have to talk about, moving back into the rock genre. An album that has 2 really huge hits that I knew well, but I didn't know the rest of the album, and I definitely enjoyed the rest of the album, and that is the album Jailbreak by Thin Lizzy. Of course, features the title track. Jailbreak was a big hit for them, as well as The Boys Are Back in Town, which was another big hit for them. I'm still a big fan of Jailbreak. I just like that song. I like how it goes. But through and through, this whole album, if you like one or both of those songs, you'll like this album. They have that, the sound is sort of the same with the songs. So you're not gonna be turned off by anything. They're all good solid sort of pop rock kind of songs that follow the same format there. Yeah, dug this one quite a bit. I was really impressed by how much I enjoyed not only hearing those 2 songs, but hearing the whole album. Good solid album. Just generic sort of advertising sleeve there. It's on the Mercury label. 1976 was the release date for this one. So yeah, Jailbreak by Thin Lizzy. Liked it a lot. Really enjoyed hearing the whole album, and it's going to be staying in my permanent collection. All right, next thing is very much a classic album. It took me a little while to sort of warm up to it. It was a little bit of a struggle for me, but once I warmed up to it, I really loved it, and that is the album Horses by Patti Smith. 1975 is the date on this one. Yeah, very awesome sort of early proto-punky kind of sound here. Really cool, sort of very feminist kind of themes and stuff. Really dug this quite a bit. I was impressed. As I said, at first listen, it was a little bit harsh for me. It was a little bit difficult for me to get into it. But once I got into it and started hearing what she was doing here, I really dug it a lot, and definitely love this album now. So really cool. And that one is on the Arista label. Patti Smith, Horses. Another thumbs up for me. Dug it, and it is staying in the collection. All right, next thing I have here, moving on into some jazz here. We got Miles Davis with Miles Smiles. Yeah, excellent album here. I guess they call this sort of a modal jazz. It's sort of in between the bop and the free jazz. It's a little bit free, but it's not as free as free jazz would get. And it's not really bop jazz, so it's kind of neat how it has a little bit more of a constructed kind of sound to it, but yet it also has a bit of a freeness feeling to it. It feels sort of spontaneous a bit, but yet pre-planned slightly, if that makes any sense. I guess that's a good explanation of it. Yeah. Killer lineup here. You got, of course, Miles Davis, Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, and Tony Williams. So, yeah, that's an excellent lineup. This was 66, I think, is the date on this one. Yeah, I think it's 66 is the release date on this one. Really nice 2i mono copy of this. So, I was really happy to find this. But yeah, just dug the sound. Just a killer album through and through. Miles Davis, Miles Smiles, another one that gets a thumbs up from me and definitely staying in the collection. Nice to add another piece to my Miles Davis collection. Yeah, dug this one. Check it out. All right, next up, I got an album here by Cream. This is their album Goodbye. 69 is the date on this one. This one's half live, half studio recordings. The live side, I'm not much of a fan of. The quality is pretty low on it. But the studio stuff, I do like quite a bit. The track Badge was a standout sort of hit for them, I think. I did recognize it anyway, and I remembered hearing it, enjoyed hearing that. And the other two studio tracks I liked as well, doing that Scrapyard thing and What a Bring Down. Some slightly psychedelic sort of sounds on there. I like that pretty good. Good stuff here. There's the gatefold. Nice, very colorful gatefold. And even though this copy is pretty rough, it actually does feature, or does still have the poster included with it. So that's a nice addition there. Nice to have that. Once again, it's on the yellow Atco label. So yeah, Cream's Goodbye. Good solid album. Definitely not my favorite Cream album, but I liked it enough to keep it, and it's going to be staying in the collection. So next thing we have to talk about here is another piece of jazz. This is a compilation of early 60s Thelonious Monk recordings titled Monk's Miracles. This was a special release on the Columbia Record Club. They did this in 67, I believe, is when this was done. But from his first four albums in the 60s on Columbia Records, they sort of compiled a bunch of tracks onto here and made a pretty nice compilation of Thelonious Monk's sort of sound. Really enjoyed hearing this. The Columbia Record Club exclusive label, which is a neat label. Hadn't seen that before. So yeah, really nice compilation of Thelonious Monk music, and yeah, I dug this one. I'm going to keep it in the collection. Next up is what I guess you'd call a bit of country rock. We have Commander Cody and the Lost Planet Airmen live from deep in the heart of Texas. 1973 is the recording date on this one. I don't know if it was released in 74 or what, but yeah, live country rock kind of stuff. And I really just was kind of turned off by this. I tried it a few times, just couldn't get into it. It's very much a honky-tonk barroom country rock kind of sound. Just could not get into it at all. Paramount record label, so label that's sort of new to my eyes there, but yeah, that's what they're on. I have another Commander Cody album in the inbox, which I'm hoping I'll like a little better, but this one just did not do it for me. The fact that it's live, it's not a great live recording. It's just too much sort of barroom honky-tonk country rock kind of stuff for me, and it just didn't do it for me. So unfortunately, this one is not staying in my collection. So thumbs down from this one. And last but not least, another sort of live piece of music here. We have the Talking Heads with Stop Making Sense from the concert movie that they made in 83, I think is the date, or 84. Yeah, classic sort of movie concert soundtrack, I guess you could say, from them. You get Psycho Killer and Burning Down the House, and I believe this was released later as with more of the music. This is sort of a cut down version, of course, so it can fit on one LP. Insert with some stills from the film, which I need to see. I need to see this film, as I have not seen it, but I'll try to get to it at some point just so I can see it. Some custom labels with just the title on one side, and then the other side has all the track listings on it. So yeah, that's the Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense. Thumbs up from me, staying in the collection, and that's going to do it for this episode of the Vinyl Survivor. 9 survived, 1 didn't, so a pretty good episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like this show and you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I would ask that you please subscribe to the channel to get updates on future episodes. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, great night, whenever it is, and we'll see you again next time. Cheers. Keep spinning your records.